What's good? It's your boy Tab Money, and today I'm gonna get into this article that Google recommended me when I not recommend me. I type in Xbox and went to the news section, and this one popped up, and it's gonna talk about the future of Xbox, the consoles and stuff like that. But also, it's gonna get into the detail of what Xbox and Microsoft is truly trying to do for the gaming industry, and why I consider Microsoft in general as the new Disney of the gaming industry. So let me read this title. The post-console future, where Xbox is looking for its next big hit. Microsoft is betting on winning business with its subscription service Game Pass and looking beyond markets in Western Europe and East Asia. Now, what that tells you, I've been saying that for the whole time. If you watch my past Xbox videos, including Phil Spencer, like I said, they've always been focused on Game Pass, and I'm gonna read this article for you to give the explanation. Microsoft have been in the video game business for over 20 years, but its Xbox consoles have been potential runner-up 2020 Xbox Series S and X console is being significantly outsold by Sony PlayStation 5 in keeping with its procedures. 2013 Xbox One, which was outsold more than 1 and 2 by the PlayStation 4, is currently suffering from a lack of big-ticket exclusive games. And its most recent Redfall was a critical disappointment where, what's more, its huge $70 billion merger with Activision Blizzard, a deal that would go a long way toward solving its content problems by buying its Call of Duty and much more, is currently being held up by UK regulators. Looking rather down-throated on a recent episode of gaming show Xcast, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said that he was not in the business of out-counseling Sony or out-counseling Nintendo, and emanating that the long-running console war between Xbox and Nintendo and PlayStation was a losing battle for Microsoft. Now, here's the thing. That's why I don't participate in console wars, because I already know that Xbox is in third place, and everybody said Xbox don't have no games when it comes to the exclusive titles, which is understandable. But look, you gotta understand they got Game Pass, and it's on every screen device that you can that have a screen on. Definitely, if it's a Samsung device with a screen, since Microsoft is connected to Samsung when it comes to their cloud gaming service. Like if you check out my gameplays on my YouTube channel, starting with my Tag Money gaming playlist, from bottom to end, besides the ones you see the videos on Twitch, they got the bad audio sound. The ones with the good audio sound, those are all coming from my tablet and coming and remotely playing in from my console that's got a wire hooked up to the router of the internet. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, the reason why how I push gaming content is through cloud gaming, through Xbox. And that's why my Microsoft champion at Xboxite, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm not a fan of Xbox because, you know what I'm saying, not just, but I'm not a fan. I didn't become a fan of Xbox because of Game Pass or anything like that. You gotta understand, I was there when the original Xbox came out. You know what I'm saying? When the original Xbox came out around the recession time, or getting close to the recession, I decided to stick with Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that was a console for me, and it was like a spiritual calling too. So instead of taunting Xbox sales figures for the past few years, the company has presented its subscription service Game Pass as the metrics for success. How many games it has, how many subscribers, how many hours they have played, is betting on a post-console future, on being able to play games on any screen with the help of cloud servers. A streaming and subscription-centric future that has already transformed music, films, and TV, which means you got Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft is part of the American corporation, and they found the new American tradition of having a subscription service. And it's always depend on and also it's checks coming to these developers every month, or simply every day for those who are subscribed to the service they play on. There's a reason why Microsoft won Activision Blizzard, because they had big hit titles, but it was never going to make their games exclusive. They was never going to make Activision Blizzard games exclusive. You got to understand, Microsoft is all about software. They're not too big on hardware like Nintendo and Sony. You know what I'm saying? Sony always been into hardware, and Nintendo, you know what I'm saying, they always been in gaming hardware. You know what I'm saying? Right along with Sega, even though Sega's not around. Whether you are running a console business or a subscription business, however, great games needs to be at the heart of it if it is going to be successful. Microsoft have been on an acquisition spree in recent years, buying up hit makers such as Bethesda, The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and critical darlings such as Double Fine, Psychonauts 2, and of course, initiating its merger with Activision Blizzard, but it is also looking further afield than these huge Western studios for games that it hopes will make Game Pass essential, say Xbox Developers Relations Chief Sarah Bonds. The game industry is very Western, European, and East Asian focused. She says we have focused on trying to get more global with it because there are more happening in places like India and Africa. We want to make sure we're on the grounds as we start to see more development there. As traditionally, there hasn't been much. The full diversity of the world is not represented by the creators in gaming today, and therefore the stories don't fully represent the cultures and the people in gaming today. 70% of people under 25 would rather play a game than do anything else. So what are they playing? We have something that can really shape how someone feels about the world. Let's make sure that we use this powerful thing to help people understand more what unites us rather than what divides us. Now, this is the beautiful Sarah Barnes. That was her that was talking. And the thing about it is, I said it from the beginning, ever since I came up with that video. The thing about it is, Sarah Bonds, she is all about the independent developers putting their games on Game Pass in order for their games to get discovered easily and have checks coming to them like almost every day or every month, depending on who's playing their software game. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Sarah Bonds basically saying. Xbox currently have partnerships with developers in Eastern Europe and India, and is on the hunt for more, say Bonds. What's important is getting creators from geographies that are underserved. Console gaming is really concentrated in a set of markets. 200 million people play on console today, but 3 billion people play games. As soon as someone gets access to high-speed connectivity, they play games. So what appeals to the next 1 billion gamers that are going to come online? She described global diversity among game developers and studios as both an opportunity and imperative. The opportunity being, she says, not just to monetize players, but to connect them. Gaming really is the only form of media where you can connect with someone and you don't know what they look like. You haven't met them. They might speak a totally different language, she says. It gives you the ability to participate in a unique perspective. Not just watch it, but participate in it. Microsoft Game Pass offers smaller developers a different way to get their games in front of people. Release a game onto traditional digital storefronts such as Steam or PC or the PlayStation Store. You are competing with tens of hundreds of others at any one time. On Game Pass, you are immediately in front of 25 million subscribers and create a library of games. As remuneration, Microsoft claims to have paid out hundreds of millions to developers in Game Pass license fees, though the details of these payouts remain, I can pronounce that. For the past 9 years, Xbox has also offered a way for developers to essentially self-publish on its consoles through its ID at Xbox program. Mrs. Bonds believes that alongside Microsoft big ticket game studio acquisition, this kind of support for small developers is essential to building Xbox library. I believe that consistent and unwavering support for smaller developers is core to the health of our industry. Is a core to ensuring that new creative things can strive and have an audience. She says, I look at the indie space and every year, some games that nobody will ever have been able to dictate comes out. Look at Stray or Vampire Survivor. You will have told someone to make that. Game Pass also lets bigger developers take a punt on creative passion projects, say Bonds, such as Obsidian Reformation Era mystery game Permanent, which was very well received last year. Relatively to music and video, a game business model has a really deep impact on the gameplay itself, she says, particularly for developers who want to make a game that isn't free to play, which changes the gameplay design, and wants to try something that's a little bit of a leap, a stretch, new or query. They like that Game Pass drives discovery for them, and they can take the risk. Xbox spokespeople have been arguing for a while that diversity of business models, from premium $70 games to subscription model free to play, is beneficial for the creative health of games. And if it can't beat Sony and Nintendo at selling consoles and games, it hopes to beat them in a new arena of cloud and subscription-based gaming. Both its gigantic acquisition of Activision Blizzard and its smaller scale efforts to attract small developers from emerging gaming regions are part of fundamental change in tactics for Xbox. It sees that players, not devices, as the future of games. As 2023 got its pace, we have a small favor to ask. What the fuck? I did not mean to read that. So there you have it, though. There you have it, man. So Sarah Bonds, particularly her right here, particularly what Sarah Barnes is trying to let y'all know is that it's all about diversity. You know what I'm saying? When I was reading the comments on the Street Fighter 6 videos on YouTube, everybody kept saying woke, 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 woke. And I was wondering what the hell that means. And someone commented and asked what woke means, and it says ethics. And what ethics means, ethnicity, basically races. They see how Street Fighter is so diverse, knowing that it's a Japanese developed game. But Japanese, particularly Capcom, you know, I said Street Fighter been around since the 90s. It was so popular in the 90s. I remember going to the movie theaters and not playing on arcade, but spectating and shit. The thing about it is that when it comes to Street Fighter, the word street itself is connected to hip hop and all that stuff when it comes to the American side of it. But really what I'm trying to say is that, you know, what Sarah Bonds is basically trying to say is what I've been saying from the beginning, ever since the showcase last year, they've always been about independent developers showing off their games and putting their games on Game Pass for people to play their games and join the series of the games that they're developing. Like in Kenya or Africa, and basically Kenya, I know Kenya's into technology. That's the only country in Africa that I know, thanks to China coming there, but they're looking for people in Kenya that's maybe generally in Africa, but I know it's Kenya though. I'm just gonna say Kenya in general. If it's not Kenya, then I'm gonna say Africa. They like Sarah Bonds is looking for people in Africa that are developing games and putting it on Game Pass. They go into India to look for games. You know, in India, if you see that art of their gods and goddesses and how they draw that crap, I tell you, man, India they good at, you know, drawing graphical things in their games that they're able to do that. But you know what I'm saying, she going specifically India and Africa, as you see in this article. Just imagine what type of them games will look like. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be off the hook when they come out. But the main thing I want to say though is that being an Xboxite, or you know what I'm saying, or being any type of eye of these consoles, or even PC or cloud gaming, you gotta understand this is the new reality that we're getting close to. The future of consoles it's not gonna be consoles no more, because everything's gonna be wireless. Around in the beginning stages in 2030 will be fully enhanced by 2040, which means by 2040 everything's gonna be wireless, including your VR headset. You know what I'm saying? Your tablet, your TV, a lot of that stuff is gonna be wireless. And what I mean by wireless, you don't need no cords no more to hook up things. Sometimes it's already built in. Everything's gonna be software and stuff, because you know, due to the fourth industrial revolution, which means things are going to be like digital, physical, I forgot the other thing. But other than that, it's deep. It's a deep story, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But the thing about what Sarah Bonds is trying to say is that they're looking for a diversity within the Xbox community, and also game developer community as well. And that's one thing I want to say. This is your boy Tab. I'm finna sign off. So I want to say so. Be on the lookout for videos like this and stay tuned. So peace.